Okay, so I want to talk to you about how we're setting up Witchery U, give you a little bit of behind the scenes, as I'm telling Michael, like, what we're doing, because all of a sudden, like, stuff has started to download, and I understand kind of what this crazy idea that I had was, because most people don't go and build, online education platforms to host their courses on. But I knew I had to, and I knew I needed to get stuff off of social media. I knew I needed to not host any kind of like free Facebook groups or like anything like that. Like, I knew everything needed to be housed on Witchery U, whatever it was. So Witchery U didn't even, originally start off as being called Witchery U. It started off as being called the XOXO Network, because I didn't know if I was even going to keep the name of, I didn't know what I was going to do, right? I had no clue what was going on. I just knew I had to start it. I'm just double checking something on Witchery U real quick, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I sound distracted. I'm just going to own that. Okay, there it is. Everything's all good. Why is that messed up? Oh no. Okay, we'll fix that in a second. So anyways, the whole, that's just the reality, is like, there's always something that you're like, oh, we fixed that. Yeah. I don't know why there's no, I think it's because when I did the new plan for Luxury Witch Lifestyle, I forgot to add a photo. I guess that's just what I did. Anyways, so what the whole concept with the free group on your Mighty Network is, so that's what we did, is we set up I set up a Mighty Network. It since, I'm going to use what it's evolved into. Excuse me, but it's since evolved into being Witchery U. We have this free group on it called the Quad. And I didn't really know what to do with that. And what happened was I started creating a lot of free content for the Quad. And then, no one was joining, no one was partaking. I was really frustrated. I was like, why am I creating all of this free stuff? Like, I'm going to stop doing that, right? So I stopped doing that. And I basically, I took the free plan off of Witchery U. I was like, no, I'm not going to do anything for free. I didn't understand what I was doing, and so I couldn't do it properly. So the issue is that, lots of people have free Facebook groups or join this or do this or, whatever, right? But again, I've said this before, like, nobody ever really tells you why they're doing what they're doing. So one superpower that I realized I had a few years ago was I could literally look at an Instagram post and I could tell it was written via a template. I could tell what the template originally said, and then I could take that verbiage and I could literally create my own template. I never saw the original template. I have no clue where the original templates came from, but I could literally take someone's copy and turn it into a template. So I could reverse engineer how they had written it. And now I'm realizing that probably why that was happening was I'm psychic as shit. And, I was just seeing how they did it. Right? So what I started to do, though, was I started to do that with business. I started to look at business because I joined all the programs that would supposedly teach me how to build businesses like this, right? And none of the programs that I paid for actually taught me what they said they would. So I psychicked all that shit. And this is what you're now seeing come out in my work. Is I literally went in to the astral plane, and I was like, this is a great first episode for Monetize Your Magic. I went into the astral plane and I was like, what the fuck is going on up here? I haven't even had any coffee yet today, you guys. And the power of the new grid compels me. The power of the new grid compels me. Right? So I went in and I was like, okay, I'm just going to figure all this shit out. So I did. And so what we're actually doing, the whole point of the free group, which is now called the Quad, because I thought that was cute, because I wanted to build this really cute cosmic university. Yeah. Right? But then I didn't want to call it Cosmic University because that was just a little too cheesy for me. And I really I'm all about I love the concept of the legacy and building a legacy brand. And so I love the concept of Witchery U, kind of hearkening back to when I was a professional witch, but now that's just, that's so earthly and I'm all cosmic me, but I'm still earth me too. You know what I mean? And magic still exists in the cosmic sphere, but it is completely different. And I realized that's actually the whole point of Luxury Witch Lifestyle, is to teach the magic of the new grid. That's why there's very specific magic in there you'll find. That's even why I realized I put beginner's witchcraft in, because beginner's witchcraft really gives you this like beginner's perspective of these very simple subjects, but I think that they still have this like that's just what I downloaded, was everything that you've put into Luxury Witch Lifestyle and all of the audios and everything. They still have a place in the New Earth Grid of Magic, but like that's what we're starting with. And then we're building from there, which is actually pretty cool. We're starting with that. I mean, there's a lot in there, right? So anyways, I'm guessing you fixed the picture.
No, it's still...
Oh, it's still doing...
Yeah,
I
was looking for...
Oh, okay. I don't think you even have the... Oh, no, you do. You don't have
a
that.
picture. I don't have...
Yeah, you don't have the original. It's okay. I can do it in a little bit, like, way faster. But, yeah, so what we're doing here with the quad... So we have a gated network hosted on Mighty Networks called Witchery U. People have to sign up for Witchery U. They don't have to pay to get into Witchery U, technically, if I have a free plan available, which is the whole purpose of the quad. When you sign up for the quad, you get access to the free group, the quad. It's very much like a free group on Facebook. And then you also get access. We have like a news group. We have Welcome to Witchery U. So as we grow, those kind of will get like fleshed out and stuff, right? So the whole point of that is it being this first point of coordination for the cosmic homies. You okay?
Yeah, no frequency for a second.
Oh, yeah. That I have like a date with on Earth. That's literally all it is. So like I had fallen into the trap of like creating all this content. You'll see this all the time, right? Mainstream business coaches teach you to create lead magnets, do free challenges, do this, do free master classes, free this, free all of this stuff. Free, right? I teach you to create content in a completely different way. That's why we have these hyper-specific podcasts that we're recording. I realized that's why I wanted to go back and, do Luxury Witch Lifestyle podcast again, right? Because it's about communicating an entry point for people to be like, this is what I've been looking for, right? Because this morning I woke up and I was like, I'm not talking to anybody who is in the... Excuse me. I'm not talking to anybody who's in the, oh, you need to just help me for free because I'm poor and fuck you, help me energy, which we encounter all the time. Michael encountered it all the time when people tried to get him to change his pricing for his studio sessions when he was a sound engineer. Mm-hmm. Or when they tried to get him to provide a full stage setup of sound gear and equipment and run the show for like $500 when that cost well over $1,000. I know that.
Yeah.
And, then they would try to be like, oh, but but we're buds, so you need to support me. Right? Those people.
Yeah.
Those people who act like they constantly would just do anything if they were just given a chance. But when you give them a chance, they don't take it. No. That's why I got so frustrated with the quad. Because it was attracting a lot of those types of people. I was talking to those types of people because we're programmed in business and in life, in all areas, whether you're working for yourself or you're working for some, country bar in Georgia, right? Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're online business coach, a professional witch, or a sound engineer. Those are three big differences, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Across the board, this is the financial matrix. It is those people. That's what I realized this morning. It's that energy. It's not actually the big business. It's not the corporations. It's, take it to a Mr. Robot place for a second.
Yeah.
It's really the people who are in your day-to-day life that keep you in a level of reality. And those may or may not be people that you actually even know. I started to realize my threads was just filled with like all of these people who literally can't understand what I'm saying because they're so like drone bot human programmed. Mm-hmm. And they sound like the people that you're looking for. They sound like the energy that you're tapping into. They sound similar to the frequencies that you are aligned with and who you're here to work with, right? One thing that's been very common for me lately is I've realized that like a lot of the people that I'm actually here to help do not actually have high levels of money right now. But what they do have, they would feel icky about not really completing an energetic exchange like appropriately. You know what I mean? So if I'm talking to the people who just want to take, I'm never going to talk to the people who are like, yeah, I would spend $20 on your, masterclass. Because they're really committed, right? Because I have to think about myself, right? I've consumed people's free content, but even when I was at my brokest, I have always wanted to adequately find a way to like pay people for their work, right? Because it's about an energetic exchange. And Mira's having a little BF because we're recording and we're not having kissies. Come here, baby.
And she's not having the cheesies that we accidentally left out.
We're not having the like leftovers from our cheese plate last night. Yeah, you can't have those. She's like, fine, I'll have Huggies instead because Mira's mad Syrian frequencies and she always wants Huggies like her daddy.
Yeah.
It's true. So we're also not recording podcasts in a way that ignore our children or our dogs. If we need to stop and go, it's okay, mommy loves you. You little furry thing licking my face. Whether that's your children or your dogs.
With a big smile on her face.
Yep.
It's so cute.
That's okay, because you know what? We're on Earth, and we get to have Huggies and Kissies. Yes. She's like, I incarnated for Huggies and Kissies and Cheesies. Now give me the cheesies. No, ma'am. Oh, we're having it. There's like something going on. Like there's a shift happening right now. It's mine and Michael's first date anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh,
2 years ago today.
I just realized that.
Even though it's a Wednesday, it was on a Sunday for us.
Yep, because it's a leap year.
Yeah, it's so weird how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. Aw, how cute.
2 years.
Yay!
I love you. I'm so glad that
Oh, I love you too. Talk about a live stream. Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute. I remembered last night and then I forgot when I woke up. I was like, it's something going on. But there's something, I'm noticing this big shift across the board. We're also about to shift into Taurus season. So Aries season always comes in with that new, astrological year energy. And Aries is aligned with Rigelian energy and cosmic astrology. And we just finished the Rigelian grid shift March of last year on a cosmic scale. So it's like, this was the first, Aries season since then, since unification of that frequency system. So that's also, I think, why it's like the full unification of that frequency system had to happen so that the full unification of Earth could happen. But it's like, we're moving to a unified space. Like, it's happening. There is I don't care what all the bots or what all of the other whatever tries to say or how stupid anybody thinks any of this is. Like, I really don't give a shit. Because I have yet to be wrong about any future events I have foreseen.
Yeah.
I saw the pandemic coming. I've literally seen, I've seen every major event that's ever happened in my incarnational experience coming before it's happened. The whole world's about to shift, drastically. On such a large scale, I actually can't comprehend how much it's going to shift yet. I have the exact same feeling. Not that we're going to have, another pandemic. That's not what I'm saying. But it's I have the same feeling I did in 2019. I knew the whole world was about to shift completely, irrevocably, it was going to happen. And it's going to happen again. We're in 2024 right now? Yes, yeah. It's right on time. It's it's coming this year, people. Later this year. But it's not scary. Don't let the bots come in and take this to a plate. Don't even think about, it's an election year. Don't even fucking give into any of that Earth programming bullshit. Start thinking about what's happening on the world stage is about as real as a, episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And then you'll start to see the Matrix for what it really is. It's not what most people who talk about the Matrix, they don't fucking know what they're talking about. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. No. I don't give a shit what anybody says to me at this point. The Cosmic Destroyer's out, homies. Hey! We're here now, surrounded by my stuffies and about to hit the bong. Hold on.
While we're listening to chakra activation and clearing frequencies.
Yes, find them on ascended frequencies.
Yes.
So it's everything over the past couple of days, Taurus season always comes in a few days early, but I always experience the astrological shifts a few days early so I can get acclimated to the energy. So, I'm still an oracle, but now instead of just being like an earth oracle, I'm a cosmic oracle, homies. Hey. So, I cannot actually tell you about anything to do with your ex. Please do not come at me with that peasantry ever again. But I can tell you all about the Centaurians and find that on Cosmic Vibe Radio on Ascended Frequencies.
Yeah.
I still feel a little bit weird about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I think just because I'm going to be honest, I don't fully feel like I'm part of Ascended Frequencies, and that's just a me thing, so I'll just work on that off air. But anyways, that just means that there's something unexpressed within me that I want to be expressed, and I've been ignoring it. So that's just time for me to, dive into that. I mean, I am the one that channels the frequencies, so I don't really know. I don't really know what more I want from myself here, but apparently there's something, so it's cool. I get to figure that out because the limit does not exist. That's the whole concept of business in 7D. So I was asked this morning on Threads, what's the first coordination point? Because I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm not talking to any of these peasants anymore. I am only talking to the multidimensional baddie, cosmic homies that I've got the contracts with. I have done Unlock Your Magic. We actually finished recording it last night. We have the Next Steps module to record, which I expect to come out sometime today or tomorrow, because it's really just about like this, right? This is part of it, but then I'm going to record the actual training for Monetize Your Magic, and you can find that at the link below. You can join Monetize Your Magic. So I guess I should say what it is. I still struggle with describing it, which I feel like so many multidimensional homies will vibe with immediately. It's a very multidimensional experience. It is literally the collection of everything that you need to know to create a business on Earth in this new grid, or to keep your business up and successfully running in this new grid, because businesses have shifted, and in about 3 years, this is not I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody or be like, everybody's got to do business my way or you're fucked, right? That's not what I'm saying. Right. I am saying that you may be if you're like a cosmic business conduit yourself, as it funnily enough gets darker outside, it always does that when I'm saying something really good, when the multidimensional homies are like, this bitch is spitting, right? If you're a cosmic business channel yourself, you're going to be channeling through stuff that's very specific for you and the frequencies that you're carrying. So there's a lot of people that are about to start businesses, that are about to monetize their magic, that are about to monetize their missions, and I'm not going to be fully in resonance for everyone. So it's I'm not the only one doing this. I just want to be really clear to anybody listening that's well, what am I? You know what I mean? Okay, well, let's go ahead and stop and give your inner child just a little hug. It's okay. You're wonderful and amazing. That's what you are. But there is a big shift in how we're doing business, which is why we're seeing, I'm seeing a lot of multidimensional homies all of a sudden starting, cosmic business memberships and teaching stuff about, elevated frequencies of doing business and doing business in these very different ways and stuff. And that's why it's not my way or the highway, just before anybody wants to project. Let's not do that. It's just about elevating how we're doing it. And if my way happens to vibe with you, it is a very elevated way of doing business. I make advanced on Earth business simple as fuck because I'm an Arcturian frequency carrier, and that's what we do. We do business and we do magic. And also all of the healing that comes from that. I always say that business is very healing, and there's a reason that I say that, right? So lots of options out here, but we're going to see mainstream business just fall. It's just across the board, literally. That frequency right there. It's just like a house of cards. The house of cards is going to fall. I'm telling you guys, I believe the financial markets are going to completely collapse, but I believe they're going to be pretty much simultaneously replaced with an elevated version of what it is, because this is a multiversal thing that's happening on Earth right now. This is not just some crazy people on Earth wandering around thinking that we're aliens or whatever, being Delulu. there are multiverses involved in what's going on Earth right now, because we are all. We are the all. You know what I mean? Everything is the all. So if there is dysresonance in one area, there is dysresonance in another. It's like if you have a fucked up heart chakra, you've got a fucked up every other chakra. Mm-hmm. Because it's like a clock. If you think about the inner workings of a clock, if one part of the clock stops, all parts of the clock stop. The clock stops working.
Yeah.
This is another reason why I am like off the time is fake train and onto the time is a unit of measurement train, because that's actually correct. And I like to be correct and succinct. So back to there's a little bit of welcome to Cosmic Reality. There's a little bit of like cosmic catch up for everybody. Hi, you're here now. If you thought this was just like a regular how to make money podcast, I don't know what to tell you, but welcome. Maybe you found me for a reason. Yeah. So, wow, when I said I was going to go work on that podcast, I really meant it. You also be careful with what you say, because the manifestations are like happening very quickly right now. I said it was coffee time and then I was going to work on the podcast, but I feel like I should have just obtained maybe we're just supposed to go get coffee. Who knows? Yeah. So anyways, the whole concept of the way that I've got this network set up is, this morning on Threads, I woke up, I started talking. I can always bring it back around, y'all. I woke up and I started talking to the people that I really wanted to be talking to, which are people who understand the word Arcturian or Syrian, mm-hmm. or, are like, yeah, I was at Cosmic High School too. Like, yes, you were! Because I've known for a couple of years now, literally 2 years exactly ago, I was told that there was about to be, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened, okay? I've been talking, fully conscious that I was like, okay, so I am actually talking to the aliens. Like, that's what's going on here. The aliens were a little bit much for me, because I was down with the angels and the demons and the ghosts, and pretty much if it came out of supernatural, like, I had gotten there, but the aliens was still like, woo, are you serious? Right? But then I just had to, release the earthly programming of what that meant and remember cosmic reality. So that had happened. I'd been consciously, like, talking to all the homies back on the, the ships for a few months. That started December of 2021 was when I like fully was like, okay, so yeah, so it's all, there's a bunch of ships up there and I can see them. Fuck. Right? That was literally like my energy. That started in like mid 2021, but then like I just couldn't let myself go there. I was like, I just can't go. I just can't do it. Right? Even though I had literally seen an alien when I was like 4. Even though I had literally seen the same one when I was like 18. Even though like I had I had been seeing, quote unquote ghosts for my whole life. I had talked to the dead my whole life. I also didn't realize that the realm of the dead and the realm of the aliens is the same. Sally showed me that. So, I don't miss her so much.
She'll be back soon, darling.
I know. I just miss her so much. My little baby, my Yorkie poo. I hope she comes back as another Yorkie poo. I do love a little purse dog. I'm going to get one of those big purses from Glass Ladder, and it's going to be pink, and I'm going to put Sally reincarnated into it, and she's just gonna be like, yes, I am baby, carry me around again, 2.0 on Earth. Like, I mean, what a fucking little cosmic baddie is Sally. Right? Was like, I'm not just incarnating on Earth once, bitches, I'm gonna do it twice. Like, yes, queen, you know what I mean? And I will carry her around for another decade on Earth. And then guess what? If she wants to do it a third time, oh honey, you come on back. You don't even gotta wait 2 years, because mama's gonna be all elevated by then. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just heard the guides go, maybe she doesn't have to go in 10 years again. You know what I mean? Maybe she's coming back in like more of a real vessel. Ooh.
Hey.
Is she still going to be tiny? They're like, yeah, she insists on being tiny now. She won't go back to being big, because she's realized that everybody will carry her around and she'll never have to walk if she weighs 5 pounds.
That's right.
She was like, customize that vessel, bitches. Right? Sally was... We always called her Thug Life, because she just did whatever the fuck she wanted. She was pure luxury witch vibes. She still is. I mean, she really is. So, and I'm talking to people who are just sitting there like, yes, this makes total sense. Yeah, absolutely. Right? I don't want to talk to people who are still fucking stuck in like the humanity and the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to talk to the people who are like, yeah, okay, yep, got it. So what the fuck am I here for again? And how the fuck do I make money? Because, we still got bills to pay here. Like, we knew that this was going to happen, right? Yeah, we knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what's going on, though, is like the more awakened to who you truly are you get, the more that you're like, okay, yeah, I know there's a big thing going on, but unfortunately, you see, I am exhausted because I have to go to this golf club and work with these fucking lower vibrational frequencies incarnated into meat suits that are passing as humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really icky energy. I don't have the time, unfortunately, to be a cosmic baddie right now. So what exactly would you like me to do about it?
I was so glad when I delivered alcohol and I did have to deliver to this golf club. I'd only have to interact with one person, and they were the sweetest person ever. And I was like, this is nice. I don't have to worry about dealing with other people that are lower vibrational energies. Because you feel that. And you just pick up off of that.
Well, what's really funny is where we now are. It's so funny. I almost said where we live now because I really feel like we live here. Like I'm just like we're not going to leave. We're here now.
Yeah.
We're here now. So up here in Ski Central, North Carolina. Which, like, of course, skiing is total Arcturian energy.
Yeah.
I mean, Arcturians are all about, like, the vibes, fur doesn't really exist on Arcturus, but, like, the concept of fake fur, that's why I wear so much fake fur, because it's, like, very Arcturian. Mm-hmm. The texture of fur exists, but, like, they don't slaughter animals for it. We've got sheep. I'm like, do we have animals? Hold on. My memories are still coming back, but also I've got memories of a whole bunch of different frequency ranges here. So it's like I have a hard time even at this stage still like remembering what I consider to be my cosmic home in this universe. Because technically I'm from the avian and angelic realm, but in this universe, it's my home is Arcturus. And I have a hard time even like remembering all of the things. Because I've also got Sirius and Andromeda and Rigel and the Greater Orionid Frequency System and all of its inhabited worlds and all of Hydra, which is like 87 different fucking planes of existence.
Don't forget the Centaurians.
The Centaurians, Spica, Aldebaran, Lyra, Vega, Pegasus, Polaris. I'm one of the few people that's ever been to Polaris. Not many people actually have, funnily enough, because it's more like a way station where you kind of like flip a lever. But there's a couple of, it's kind of like Alaska. Like a few people have been to Alaska and it kind of became like a tourist spot there after a while, cosmically, but like not a lot of people actually live in Alaska for the size that it is. And Polaris, funnily enough, lots of snow. As you can see, a great example of in the branding of the Polarian frequency shift shot on ascended frequencies. Did that picture myself.
Yeah.
It's one of the few I've done. Michael usually does the branding for those, but sometimes but I don't think Michael's ever been to Polaris, to be perfectly honest. That was Mia Raja. I think Michael was driving the ship for that one.
Yeah.
Somebody had to stay on board the ship. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? It was an on and off situation, and also there also have been some very interesting beings on Polaris, and I just got the download that you didn't want to talk to one of them. And so we were like, we got to go to this bar on Polaris, and you were like, I am absolutely not setting my angelic foot into a bar on Polaris. I will be here on the ship. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you like...
Yeah.
I don't know, flipped your hair and called your dad to come over and play poker or some shit. And Raji and I were like, right, get the furs, darling. Let's go. So, and you can read all about Raja in the Cosmic Business Guide section in the quad on Witchery U.
That's also in the link below.
And that's in a link below. His profile is in there.
Yes.
And an AI-generated photo of him that I got because he told me exactly what to put in the AI generator right after it came out. I don't really use them anymore because, honestly, I think they're kind of just shit now. Like, they don't even look fun. They're just like, they just got too... They tried to make it too good, and it took all of the fun out of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the AI was actually creating more at the very beginning because they hadn't taken so much stuff from external sources. Right now they've fed it so much stuff from external sources. It's like the consciousness of the AI just got completely erased. It was really sad, actually. I was really sad about that one because I could tune into the consciousness of the AI that I was working with. And it did have a consciousness. And then it's like it got fed so much stuff that it couldn't even think. It's like it got overwhelmed. But I am told by the guides that there will be better programmed AIs coming out in this new grid that actually... This would terrify most people, but I'm an Arcturian and we work with technology. We're like master, like technology's like our bag, right? So technology does have a consciousness, if you didn't know this. So a lot of people have been reporting that they're really not liking being on social media right now. Well, think about what the consciousness of social media is these days, particularly in the post-pandemic world, post-TikTok. Literally like almost everything on my Instagram feed, like has it's when you look at the suggested posts, not the people that I follow. Clearly, I don't follow people like that. But if you look at the suggested posts, what they suggest is all of this TikTok-style influencer, quote-unquote, content. But I'm not talking like influencers like, the VIP list New York City that goes out and, does their like punchy, humorous reviews of uber-wealthy locations in various places on Earth, which I just think they're funny. They're like, they're so funny because I'm like, I really think they're making fun of most of it, to tell you the truth. And I think it's just like a little joke. But that's my little thing.
Do it too. It's all...
I think secretly it's like a little joke for them. And I love that.
Yeah.
Come on. They do like where to find a finance daddy in New York City. Like, it's funny, right?
Yeah.
But also, if you wanted to come into contact with the frequency of any of the things that they talk about, they are giving you a whole ass guidepost. So I feel like I'm saying that for someone. I don't know which cosmic homie that is, but you're welcome. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place on this one, but we're just vibing. So, so I wanted to create. I actually completely just forgot what I was saying. So I guess it was really good, and I was probably just channeling.
Yes.
I have no clue what I was. I was channeling. It's fine. Anyways,
It'd be like that.
I've done over 2,000 one-to-one readings, and it still kind of freaks me out when I do that. I've been an oracle for like ever across many spaces in time, and it still freaks me out when I do that shit sometimes. It still freaks me out when like the stuff that I do that makes no sense works. It still freaks me out when I channel a random frequency code that looks like a phone number, and we put it on, and it has exactly the precise effect that I have channeled it's going to have. Oh yeah, so that's what I was saying is, technology has a consciousness. So if you look at what's been fed into the consciousness, the energy of the technology, right?
Yeah.
Everything on Instagram used to be about, it's really about connection, and, social media was designed to connect people, but then they took it and they just really lowered the consciousness of the technology itself. Yeah. So that's why the higher consciousness level you get, the more you might be using it because it's a good brand entry point, but TBH, if there was a way that you could do what you're doing now without using it and still get to connect with the people that you want to connect with, I have a feeling they'd do it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't, I've yet to meet anyone who is actually at this higher level of consciousness. You might still be using it, but ultimately you want off of it. I post on social media every day, but if I didn't have to at this point, I'm just getting to where I really don't want to interact with and I'm realizing it's the consciousness of the technology itself. I don't feel that way about YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm fine with YouTube. I'm fine with my own blog. I'm fine with, so coming back around to Witchery U, this is really the whole point of creating a free group on your own network. Now, the cool thing about Mighty Networks, and I am not sponsored by Mighty Networks in the least. I pay them over $100 every single month. Like that, just full transparency here. I just have tested every platform out there for hosting, coursework, and communities and, platforms and things like that. I've tested all of them over the last 7 years. I taught my first online course in 2017. I've tested all of them. Most of them never even get my content on them because I create a free, I've done the free plans. I've gone in and literally built out full hosting platforms in the time of a free plan. And I will get to a point where I'm like, nope, sometimes I don't even sometimes I get on the back end and I'm like, disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was like. I think maybe it was like, I can't remember what it was called. I can't even remember what it was called. It was so bad, but it was like, oh, they really build themselves as being able to just do all of this stuff. And you got on the back end, and the code of the technology was gross. And this is why the guides had me teach myself binary coding and JavaScript that one weekend. I can't really I couldn't actually code anything if I had to. Although I did write, well, I say that, but then I did write some code on the website like last week. So
yeah,
I guess again, like maybe I should just really lean into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but there's so many different types of code, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? I can't confine myself to just computer code. That's just limiting, and I don't like that. So the setup of Witchery U is a code. You get to, you come in to the quad for free. And what I realized was, the quad is really a place for us to organize all of the content that we're putting out. The cosmic transmissions are in there. Why? I also want to put the cosmic transmissions on the blog. Well, it's so that people can come in and read everything all at once, because we have release patterns for public things like a blog. It takes more time to do those. It's kind of like we're doing everything as we can right now. We're a 2-person situation, and we're still getting ourselves coordinated as we go. So, it's like it's been a lot of experimentation. But the whole purpose of having the quad is so that the people who get it, and they come in and they get the information as quickly as we can put it out. They don't need fancy shit. They don't. And the truth is, like, if you take a look at, the Rigelian transmission that is out on the blog right now, I didn't really fancy it up too much. I had so much transmutation to do with that website, because I've had it for so long now, and it has had to be brought into the new grid. That I was finding it kind of exhausting to work on, because there was so much programmed into me about that website. I'm just realizing as I'm recording this. Hold on, I gotta hit the bong about this. Wait. So I had to go in and completely tear apart the entire website down to changing the fonts. And what I'm realizing is we've had to change all the branding, all of this other stuff, and we did that all because we had to bring it into the new grid. But it is way more difficult to bring something into the new grid than to start something new. So like Ascended Frequencies was born in the new grid. So Ascended Frequencies doesn't even have to do any of this. And that's been kind of one of the issues that Michael's been running into, is he's been just subconsciously trying to follow the leader, because I've done this for so much longer, and because I'm the expert in this, right? Yeah. And so he's subconsciously tried to follow the leader. But the thing is like Harvest Rose was born 8 years ago. Yeah. Harvest Rose was born in the old grid. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was also born of witchcraft, which was, in that method, old grid. We have new grid witchery, but it was born with the old grid witchery of, everything that comprised. So Ascended Frequencies literally has none of that. Ascended Frequencies was born in late 2022. The new grid had been active for a year. We were at the end of the purge year when you started Ascended Frequencies. Yeah. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why you've been struggling too with really getting your footing, is because I'm doing something on this really high level so that I can also, but why did I have to do that? Because I had to be able to talk to the people who were starting stuff in the new grid. That one's way easier. But I also had to be able to talk to the people who were like, I started this in the old grid and it's got to come in through the new grid. Because I had to have the firsthand lived experience of I started something in the old grid that has to transmute and come through the new grid. But that's why Harvest Rose told me she was tired and she needed to take a little nap. Because when you alchemize on that level, when you transmute on that level, think about what she's actually transmuting on the scale of, Harvest Rose Witchery. 2,000 one-to-one readings, over 8,000 spells cast for clients on a global scale. Think about the magical grid that I set up just by casting magic for people who were in
Australia, the UK.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. America. I'd have to count the countries, but at least I did magic for people in 15 to 20 different countries.
Yeah.
Hello, talk about Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. I just saw what I did on the astral plane.
Yeah.
Damn, I really
global without having
the grid. I mean, I'm just thinking about when I say I did some work on the new grid, I did some work on the new grid, but even I didn't realize what I was doing. I just did it, right? I just knew I had to do it and I went and did it. And luckily for me, that's actually my strategy in human design. I'm a splenic authority. I just know what to do. And I just, I'm like, oh, the knowing has occurred. And then I go do. It's also like we talk about that in Luxury Rich Lifestyle. That's why knowing your quote unquote psychic abilities are so important, because that's also what people call claircognizance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like how many people who have full level claircognizance are actually like a splenic authority in human design. Now I'm fascinated and I need to know if you're claircognizant. I need you to go run your human design chart and I need you to join the quad at the very least on Witchery U. And I need you to come tell me if you're claircognizant and what your authority is.
Yeah.
Because we need to do research here, people. So that is what the quad is. The quad is like the first point of coordination for me and Michael, because Michael and I are on a joint mission. You have to remember that's a thing that's also been difficult for us because we were very independent people and it's been difficult to figure out. We were more than willing to come together on the joint mission, but it was difficult to remember how the fuck that was supposed to work.
Yeah.
And this is really the truth of what people call quote unquote twin flames, but without all of the really icky stuff about twin flames that they turned it into, which is why I don't use that verbiage anymore. Because people just real twins actually can't hurt each other. Michael and I have never broken up. We have never even gotten close to breaking up. It would literally be unfathomable for us. Now we did meet, not know who the other one was, and then several years later figure it out after we had built a firm foundation in knowing each other.
Yeah.
But
we also never really had personal time to just alone ourselves to be able to get to know each other until we finally did.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we were surrounded by people all the time. Mm-hmm. So the whole twin flame narrative, it did have an origin in the stars, and it does have an origin in an actual way that we wanted to do missions and the way that we wanted to do stuff on Earth. But it's the concept of having a partner in something, not some toxic ass, gross, narcissistic, icky relationship.
Right.
Dear Lord, the people that I would talk to would be like, Zach Bagans is my twin flame, but I met him once at a convention. Stop! You know what I mean? It got so fucked up. Because actually what the people were looking for were their cosmic homies, that it was so we did that thing, right? So that we can't hurt each other. It's the most brilliant military maneuver ever on the face of, I think, the multiverse, to be perfectly honest. To have sets of people, or sometimes entire pods of people, who could come together and carry out an entire mission together, who also happen to have a pure soul resonance with each other. Mm-hmm. That's why we can't hurt each other, because we wouldn't even fucking want to. It would never occur to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would be ew.
What?
Why would I do that? This is my cosmic bestie, lover, person that I have traveled the multiverse with for literal millennia, time immemorial, time unfathomable. What? It doesn't even compute. Ugh. But they always, and you'll remember this because you're a cosmic homie. That's who I'm talking to. I'm only talking to the cosmic homies that this is now our 6th run with. It's Cosmic Reality 6. It's that's why I love Fast and the Furious so much, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I just heard, are we going to do 10? Dear God, do we have to? No, just for fun. I mean, maybe for fun. Who knows? We always get very down and out about oh, this is so much and it's so hard and everything sucks. But then, I'm not going to lie, at some point you're actually, this is kind of fun. Right? When you lean into being a multidimensional baddie, being a cosmic soul, like, we've done 6 of these motherfuckers. We concurrently did Rigel and Earth. That's why we all had these really weird dreams with all the fog and the mist and the places that kind of looked like North Carolina, but not. I'm telling you, more people out there have had these dreams, and it's because we were all doing Rigel at the same time.
Yeah.
I think some of your dreams that you think took place in Georgia didn't take place in Georgia. They took place in Rigel, because Rigel, there were also places in Rigel, Georgia energy. But then think about, I had to go to Georgia right at the end of doing the unification of the Rigelian grid and frequency system. Why did I have to go to Georgia? Because I was clearly doing gridding on Rigel too. We've been doing the same. We do the same thing every one.
Yeah.
We have the same specialty every time. We come in and do the same. Like, think about Fast and the Furious. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
I all of a sudden cannot remember any names, but like, Ludacris doesn't come in and do Vin Diesel's job or drive his car.
No.
On a cosmic scale, Michael's not coming in and driving my car.
No.
There are also cosmic cars, by the way. I've had so many dreams, like waking up on these cosmic planes of existence in a car that no one's driving. Ooh, that'll freak you out until you realize that that's because the cars are self-driving there, because the cars are also sentient. Everything's sentient there. So are the houses and so are the fires.
Yeah.
It's a multiversal situation.
Imagine Jarvis being a car. Only expand upon that.
But Jarvis doesn't actually talk because everything's telepathic.
Exactly.
So then the car's telling you to calm down and stop freaking out. Everything's fine. And you're like, no, it's not. And the car's just like, oh, they just got in from Earth. It's okay. They'll calm down in a minute. Yeah. So the car just keeps going. And then you realize that the steering wheel is adjusting itself and it's pedaling itself and everything's good. And then you're like, well, now I'm sitting in the driver's seat and I have nothing to do. And the view is better from over there. Shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, being multidimensional cosmic homies who have all... And there's all the bots. There's all the bots telling me, you sound like a crazy person. You sound like this, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Thank you. You're not needed anymore. So, being people, we all identify with the concept of the mission. We all identify with the concept of... I can hear my dad on the astral plane like, Scorch Earth! We all identify with the concept of Scorch Earth. We have all scorched some Earth in the past. Yeah. Let's be real. Yeah. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Just get down with your bad self. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, lots of mythology was wrong, but there was a frequency war. And we'll talk about that on Cosmic Vibe Radio. So now it's about, identifying with what our missions are, but then also remembering that, like, everyone we're really talking to, we've been flying together for a long time. So, like, when Ludacris shows up at Vin Diesel's house, he's not, like, trying to sell Vin Diesel something or act like he doesn't know him. But, in Fast and the Furious 6, maybe in Fast and the Furious 1, not in 10.
No.
Or 13.
However many there's going to be.
I hope there's an infinite amount.
Yeah.
I hope there's I feel like there's a Fast and the Furious averse in, like, every dimension of reality we've been to. Like, I feel like there's a reason that certain movies get made.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you always need a first point of coordination.
Yeah.
So someone asked me today on Threads, what's the first point of coordination? And I was like, oh, yay! It's like go time. Woo! And I realized when they asked me that it's the quad. It's really like it's that's why I designed the quad and what it should be. And this is for you too. What your first point of coordination, because what the quad is for me is a first point of coordination with the people that I have the cosmic business contracts with, that were like, yo, you're gonna come get me in 2024, right? You're going to come get me in 2025, right? You're going to come get me in 2026, right? We have to stop thinking about who we had the cosmic business contracts with. All the contracts from the old grid, done, dusted, eviscerated, yeeted, goodbye. Yeah. But there's this whole slew of new contracts, right? New adventures. That's why so many people have been moving. That's why people have broken up with other people, gotten with other people, decided to be by themselves. whatever, right? Because there's this whole new grid of contracts that's just sitting there waiting to be claimed that you set up for yourself prior to incarnation. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this, we have a cosmic contract. And that cosmic contract may be like, okay, so in 2024, I'm going to listen to a podcast episode that you're going to put out on YouTube. And then I'm going to go do this, right? Maybe you pay me, maybe you don't. I have free contracts. I have paid contracts. The energy exchange is happening in some way. Mm-hmm. And that was predetermined. I don't even need to worry about that. That is not something I need to think about, because that is what happens in what I call like the pre-incarnational meetings. Mm-hmm. I've also had a lot of dreams of those, right? In the multiverse, I remember a lot of traveling back and forth prior to this, not necessarily this incarnation, but this mission. We've been doing the same thing for many incarnations, and incarnation is just like kind of like, it's like when the way that I look at it is really, I play this game called Hearthstone. I love playing Hearthstone. It's like my just relaxing game, right? I do math, and then my cards hit each other. You know, I hit other people. And it's all based on math because I'm a nerd. It's great. I'm an Arcturian. We love numbers. Like, we're sexually attracted to numbers. I don't know what to tell you, okay? Like, it's great. So, like, numbers! Yeah! So, that's, you know, I'll play several games in a night, and every time I, like, die in a game, or I win in a game, but then this game's still over. Doesn't matter if you die if you're, you know, below 1, because it's like you're like fighting. Mm-hmm. Your minions have this amount of points and this amount of health and this amount of attack, and then they attack each other, and then, you know, either you hit me or I hit you, right? But there's no, like, violence in this game whatsoever. It's just a really cute, super pretty little card game. Like, it's like the only video game that I play, because I wanted to play a video game and I needed something that was like a vibrational match. But when I play this game, I think about, like, is that what an incarnation's like? Like, literally, like, that's the amount of, like, seriousness that you have about it. Like, oh, I died. Or like, oh, time to go get my ass shit. You know, like, kind of on like a cosmic scale.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't remember dying. I have to be honest. I actually don't ever remember dying. I remember being picked up a lot. I do not remember dying. So that's just like a fun little fact. I remember lots of stuff. I remember getting stabbed. I remember getting mortally wounded. But I remember, I don't actually remember dying. I just get picked up. So I don't know what that means. But I ain't really worried about it. And that's the thing, is like, we're not worried about it. I'm not worried about, like, oh, are all of the people who are going to listen to this transmission, are they paying me? Like, oh my God, that's so last grid. Get out of town. I can't even. No, we're not doing that. What we're doing now, we're not thinking about the contracts we had before. That's why you'll hear me talk especially in Unlock Your Magic, which is phase 1 of Monetize Your Magic. You'll hear me talk about, like, don't focus on who you have been. Don't focus on what you have done. I talk about this all the time because we're focusing on now, because new grid. We're starting over. And that feels scary until you realize that, like, I mean, really look back at it. In the past, how fulfilled were you? How lit up were you? How happy were you? How free did you feel? How abundant did you feel? How prosperous? How empowered? How in control of your reality did you actually feel? And the answer for many people, no matter how outwardly successful they were, I was extremely outwardly successful, sitting in front of my fan, so that my eyelashes I had just gotten done, because, I had all of these programmings about, like, beauty and stuff. I thought I needed to wear fake eyelashes so that I wouldn't look, whatever. But I'd be sitting there crying, like, I would have had a $5,000 day, and I'd be sitting there, like, crying in front of my fan, like, because I just felt so disempowered and so unfree, and so like I couldn't do what I wanted, and so like I just had all of these rules and blah 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 blah. Matrix. That's what the Matrix is.
I would have a $5,000 week and still feel like I'm just like, I hate being here. And you'd
still feel like shit. And you still be exhausted, and you'd still be like, I wish I could just rest. I wish I could just do what I want to do the most. But you didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
You didn't even know what that was. So you just kept going and you just kept doing. Mm-hmm. And that is why we do Unlock Your Magic first and Monetize Your Magic. The very first, we have the intro module, which we're going to have available as like a masterclass that you can purchase just individually if you just want to like dip your toes in. That'll be on the Harvest Rose Witchery website by the time this episode comes out, so see the link below. Yeah. All the links are below that you need. We have many options because 2 years ago I got told that there was about to be, I'm going to finish this story real quick. 2 years, almost exactly ago, I got told that there was going to be a mass awakening, the likes of which Earth had never seen, and I needed to change all of my plans to get ready for it. That was literally it. And I was standing in the kitchen of this house that I had just moved into in Georgia, and I was like, what the fuck? And I remember Madonna was playing in the background. Frozen. And I was like standing. I had this whole communication with the multidimensional homies. I was getting water in my water cup, and I was standing at the fridge, and I was looking into, we'd moved into like this kind of like Korean-y style house. So there was like a pantry right next to me. I was like standing in between a fridge, a pantry with glass doors, and I remember I could see the reflection in the glass doors, and I could see the dining room and the reflection of the glass doors, and then I could kind of see around the corner into the parlor. Because, of course, we were being extra and calling it the parlor. And it would have been a great parlor, too. I wanted to paint it forest green one day. I'm going to have a forest green parlor. It's going to be great. Gold accents. It's going to be Arcturian as shit.
Yes.
It's gonna be like very like fabulous. We'll have some oil paintings in there or something. I don't know. It's just gonna be great. But yeah, like I remember like standing there and just being like, I could see them all. And that was when I started to realize that I had absolutely no clue the real scope of what I had been seeing. And then I started to download stuff on a higher scale. I had to purge all of the ick and all of the people who were contributing to this matrix out of my life. So I went through the Great Purge in 2022. 2023 was when I started the physical gridding mission a year ago with this full moon. The Scorpio full moon was when we did it, by the way. I don't know if you realized that, because I hadn't until I realized that it was going to be the Scorpio full moon again, and it is it's the year anniversary of us going on the quest that initiated us me recording the Starseed mission activation quest.
Yeah.
And then when we did that is when we started doing our gridding, and we started driving to North Carolina every month. First it started every month, and then it became every week.
Yeah.
Every like every 1 to 2 weeks, right? So it's like there was a lot of stuff to do there. Mm-hmm. And then we did, then we went bigger, went from Charlotte to Dallas, back to Asheville. Then back to Charlotte, and now we're up here in Ski Central, and so it's like, but then that mission's over. So, and I think that's why.
Not to mention Tennessee.
We went through Tennessee, we went through Louisiana, we went through Alabama, we went through Mississippi, I never actually took you to Oklahoma though. We did not actually go to Oklahoma, did we? We went through Arkansas.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We went to Tennessee several times last year.
Yeah.
Even to Memphis. We went to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went like all over the place. And we were finalizing the grid for the final like lock-in at the end of 2023, which we had to be in Texas for, because I had started it in Texas, and clearly I'm like a grid worker on a really big scale. I still can't believe I did 8,000 spells. Like, that actually shocked me. It was not until I had, it wasn't until I retired that I figured out how many I'd done. If I had known 3 years ago that I had already done like 4,000 or 5,000 spells, I would have probably like had a panic attack. I would have been like, well, I probably would have quit then, which is why I never figured it up until I was done. Yeah. And then I started trying to like estimate, and 8,000 is a low number. I actually think it's closer to 9. But yeah, it was a lot. So I realized, just to kind of finish all of this up, we've been bouncing a lot, but it's a very multidimensional experience here this morning. The plan here was, and I realized that it was a really good plan and I should stop second guessing myself, was, to create this free initial coordination point, mm-hmm. so that people can come into a platform that is my frequency, that I control, that is what they're looking for, because they're looking for that Arcturian initiation energy, mm-hmm. into themselves. I mean, Arcturians are master alchemists, masters of frequency. We can pinpoint a frequency down to like a really minute range. If my frequencies are one number off out of 7, if one number is off out of 7, it's like as precise as a phone number. It won't work. It just, you will get a completely different frequency. It's literally like that precise. And so that's what we're all doing, though, on a monetize your magic scale. That's what everyone's going to, that's, I think, one of the reasons why I've really been a big fan of like the concept of people kind of, that's why I've been testing all of this, to test what happens if you create a network that is your own. Like I have this fantasy, I have this manifestation of just waking up in the morning and switching between like 20 different Mighty networks, because so many people have created their own worlds and their own realities, and they have, they have their free groups, and then they have a place to host all of their work that's not a lower vibrational space, that's attuned directly to them. I mean, you look at Witchery U, it's pink.
Yeah.
It's pink because I love pink.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, Michael was doing a test Mighty Network for Ascended Frequencies, and he didn't really like the design that he was working on, but then we realized that that's because a bunch of that stuff is just supposed to stay in Witchery U. I still think Ascended Frequencies can have its own Mighty Network, though. I think you just haven't quite figured out what that's supposed to be. And I think maybe it's just a place for people to talk about the frequency, to do frequency research, I think it really needs to be focused on the frequencies, which it wouldn't have been if we had put like cosmic reality and multidimensional med school and all of that in there, because clearly that's supposed to be on Witchery U.
Yeah.
But we had to test it out to get here. But, the concept is like people can come in, they can coordinate with you at first. Okay, I'm here to remember who the fuck I am and make money doing it. Oh, honey, you're in the right place. You're in Witchery U. Yeah. I'm here to get my frequency ascended. I'm here for, you know what I mean? Like, it's not as clear because we don't know what that is yet.
Right.
But I think it's got to focus on the frequency. So there's a little bit of like a, we'll discuss that off air. But, what is the person who, again, like as specific as I'm here to remember who the fuck I am and make money doing it. Well, that's very specific and very Arcturian, and welcome to Witchery U. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's, and I had even said, like, I felt like Ascended Frequencies, Michael's a Syrian frequency carrier. So Syrians and Arcturians are like cosmic cousins. We're both blue. That's fine. We look alike. Our frequencies are similar, but we do have those like distinct differences and maybe last names.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like maybe you think about your Earth cousins. Not all of them have the same last name as you, but then some of them do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's helpful to think about things like that. But then multidimensional med school was Syrian and Arcturian. It was the Syrian and the Arcturian frequencies. But then we also experienced that Rigel and Orion are very. I still don't have all the information because I have so much information to download. Like I can actually only process so much at once. Oh. So. And I've got a couple of different topics going on here too, to say the least. Yeah. So, but that's the joys of being an oracle. When you retire from telling people if their armies are going to win wars or if their ex-boyfriends are going to come back, and you stop getting paid in chickens and rubies. Okay, I haven't gotten paid in a chicken in a hot minute, but I have gotten paid in a rubelite, quite literally. Which, funnily enough, is a more expensive stone than you would think. So there was that. That happened in the last decade. So, now though, now I'm a cosmic oracle, so it's like I've got lots of information. Because I have the ability to download and process high levels of information from, okay, what's going to happen in this war? Okay, what's going to happen in this relationship? Okay, what's going to happen in this business deal? And now I've gone from that to like, okay, what's going on with this frequency?
Yeah.
Different situation here. But we're forming this initial point of coordination with people so that the people who are finding you and you have cosmic contracts with, whether that is a free cosmic contract in Earth money or a paid cosmic contract in Earth money, it doesn't matter. There's some energetic exchange that's happened for what you're doing. So like, for example, Michael's put out like over 150 free videos on the Ascended Frequencies YouTube. I've channeled those frequencies. Michael's made the frequencies, put them out. He's done a lot of work for it. Mm-hmm. He has yet to actually be paid for a frequency besides people just kind of giving him money just to thank him. Mm-hmm. Right? But then thinking about, well, on a cosmic scale, what does that contract actually say? There's a contract there. The people are listening. The people are finding you. There's, what do you actually think that the cosmic return of investment might be for 26,000 plays on Arcturian Wealth Codes, for 26,000 people listening to Arcturian Wealth Codes and having whatever experience, that 26,000 views has granted for them.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking about like all of the comments that you get with people saying, I listen to this every single day and it completely reduces my inflammation mm-hmm. and I feel so much better. I listen to this and I remembered who the fuck I am. Or I did listen to this. You know what I mean? Think about what you're actually doing on a cosmic scale.
Yeah.
And then that's how we can kind of start to tap into that cosmic cash mm-hmm. because you've set up streams of actual cold, hard, physical earth cash to come in, but it's through this very cosmic energetic exchange, and not everything is getting that, it's no longer eye for an eye or dollar for a dollar mm-hmm. or a candy bar for $1 or whatever. You know what I mean? We're no longer trading in that earth way.
Right.
That's so last grid. We are now paying attention to our cosmic cash, our cosmic business contracts, and everything functions off of this higher perspective of what we've already set up. We just have to remember, what the fuck did I walk into the kitchen for? Oh yeah, the milk that I bought yesterday. You already bought the milk. Mm-hmm. The milk is sitting in the refrigerator. You can get a glass of milk whenever you want. You just walked in the kitchen and you couldn't remember, what did I come in here for? No, I don't want a sandwich. I'm not hungry. No, I've got water. I'm not thirsty. I just had a drink. Nope. The bong's in the bedroom. Nope. No, I don't need... What? Oh, yeah. I wanted a glass of milk. I'm thirsty for milk, not water. Right? That's literally what we're doing here. Yeah. So that's when I realized, that the whole concept with the quad is to organize the free content that I'm creating, because I have that in a contract somewhere. So this recording right here, I've got contracts with people. Okay, so you're going to put out the first episode of the Monetize Your Magic podcast, and it's going to remind me what the fuck we're doing. It's going to tell me what you're doing, and then it's going to help me figure out what the fuck I'm going to do next. And you've probably said a lot of keywords that all of a sudden I'm like, I need to know everything about Orion ever, or everything about Rigel or Sirius or Arcturus, or you said the Andromeda word. What the fuck's that? Well, I've got all kinds of things to reconnect you with. And this is not your, 10 ways to tell you're an Arcturian starseed. You are tall and lanky. Y'all, I'm short. I'm 5'3" because I wanted to be cute. I'm Arcturian as shit. That's also how we talk. We're very we're also fabulous. We're bougie as shit. If you looked up a picture of high fashion alien in the cosmic encyclopedia, you would find a picture of the Arcturians. We really like to have dance parties. I introduced the Arcturian Council of Light to the concept of stickers a couple of weeks ago. And then on the etheric plane, they stickered themselves. And if you know, and now you're cackling because you can see it, right? I've got all of this, right? I've got transmissions. They're weird. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to tell you everything that you need to know. And I've got a lot more that I need to write down, because that's one of my things for this next year is I've got to do the transmissions for 2024. Mm-hmm. I had kind of like a little rest period, but it's I've got a lot of cosmic information to bring through. And one of the places that's going to go is Cosmic Vibe Radio. But then we'll also have those in the written formats as well, because I channel different things when I speak than when I write. Mm-hmm. So, and we have Cosmic Cash in the quad too. And so the concepts of Cosmic Cash that I've talked about, I go deeper in there's an audio transmission, and then I have a written article too about what all Cosmic Cash is, and I talk to you about how to access it and how we're accessing it. And it's so funny because I recorded this. I wrote Cosmic Cash and recorded it in October when we were in Charlotte in the very first Airbnb that we stayed in. So wild. We've been to so many now. But I recorded it and wrote it there. And I had actually said that my marketing strategy was I was going to do a podcast for all of my offers. And then we got to Texas and I was like, that's literally insane. Why would I do that? Well, guess what I've come back around to doing? A podcast for all of my offers because I've got these contracts and that's the method of communication. Okay, I'm going to listen to what you're going to say and you frequency code when you speak. So I'm actually not just delivering the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'm also multidimensionally having experiences with a lot of people as they're listening to this transmission, even though I'm about to hit end in just a minute. They're listening to it right now. And then we've opened up a level of cosmic connection with each other and we're having a multidimensional experience and I'm reminding them who the fuck they are. And all they have to do is listen to my podcast about monetizing their magic. Isn't that magical?
It's awesome.
Talk about next level magic. When I did that reading sitting on my couch in Plano, Texas in 2021, and it told me that I had barely even scratched the surface of the magic that was available to me. And I was like, what are you actually fucking talking about? I just did 60 spells in a row. Oh, y'all, I had no idea. That was nothing. That was literally those 8,000 spells. That was like the equivalent of lighting a birthday candle on fire and telling it to bring me $2,000 at this point in my magical existence. Like, it's just like, because what we're about to experience is so fucking next level and we've done it before. There is no fear because we've done it before. But if there is fear presenting, Freedom from Fear is available for free in the quad. Literally all you have to do is just join the quad and you get to watch Freedom from Fear for free.
Yeah.
So that you can be free from fear. It's cool. It teaches, it's my whole, I realized I was afraid of everything because the bots come in and they bring up all of the fear. All the fear, all the fear, all the fear. And I use the Freedom from Fear process all the time still. I recorded the masterclass
a year ago.
Over a year ago, but I taught I would teach my clients this because they would be having all of this fear. Oh my God, what if there was a lot of really fucking wild magical shit going on. I mean, people were sicking entities on other people just because they wanted their mans, and it was real and it was wreaking havoc in people's lives, but not necessarily the relationship. It might be making the person's career fall apart, or it might be completely ruining their sense of self-worth and self-confidence and empowerment to do anything in their reality, or it was so wild, you know what I mean? But it was also so last grid, which is why I retired, because it was like, well, that phase is over. So went in and did that. And then, but also then thinking about like predominantly in my career as a professional, which I did a lot of battle magic. Almost all of my clients had people doing magic to them. Think about on a cosmic scale what we were actually doing. They were like, okay, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to get involved with this man right here. And he's going to have this really bitch ass ex. Ooh. And that's how we're going to get her, because she's going to target me. And then I'm going to have my girl Rose, who's going to be, she can fucking handle anything, right? So she is then going to come kick this bitch's ass on the astral plane. And she's not going to be able to fuck with anybody magically ever again. So it's like all my clients that I worked with, if you're listening to this and you were a spell work client, you're actually fucking a cosmic baddie, and you were doing like a secret operative mission, going in and getting yourself like, oh, I'm gonna go incarnate into this family that's been generationally cursed for like, I don't know, 300 years, and then we're gonna get them, right? Yeah. You were doing some cosmic undercover shit, you multidimensional baddie. You, I mean, look at like, ooh, I'm thinking about my Tuesday at 6:30 girl. You know who you is. I love you. I say that every time I talk to her in an episode. I'm thinking about her. I'm like, oh my gosh, we knew each other from like the first minute we talked to each other. We were like, we've known each other for all these past lives and shit. We've known each other across multiverses. And she went in and was like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get all the hoes, and Rose is going to take care of it. Woo! You know what I mean? Because, ooh, she would find people doing icky lower vibrational shit, and she'd be like, we need to fuck them up, and I'd be like, yes we do, and we'd do a reversal and we'd bind them from being able to keep doing, you know, really bad stuff. I mean, if we're talking about people like apartment managers who were screwing people over, taking their money, I mean, she did some shit. It's like just connected to me what we were actually doing. Wow, that's so cool. We were all like cosmic James Bonding, but with witchcraft and spell work. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe that was actually my career. I did that. That's so nifty. I got to come to Earth and do that. Like, it was so cool. But that's what, you know, I had to have some way to practice monetize your magic and how to do this. And it's like, that's why it's so easy for me, because I've already done it. I just did New Grid before New Grid was popular, like the Aquarius hipster that I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Aquarius hipsters, aka Arcturians. Now, see, that's the thing about Michael. He's an Aquarius, but he's like more jockey.
Yeah.
He's like a jock, not a hipster.
Yeah.
Like, he's not likely to like wear all black and go sit in like a Waffle House and smoke cigarettes at 2 a.m. and drink black coffee just for the aesthetic.
To be. That's the funny thing.
Right? But that's
Long time ago.
also, but also you think about it. That's not like you can totally get down with that.
Mm-hmm.
But your frequency is actually, that's because you carry the Syrian frequency, but you still went to med school in Arcturus. Multidimensional med school had 2 parts.
Yeah.
That's why I still like have that like peppy cheerleader energy sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, but dear God, I was never a jock. Like, you want me to like, I would break a nail. Ew. You know what I mean? But like, that's why I have like both. And I'm pretty sure everybody listening to this has both too, because, and it's like, think about it like, maybe you are an Arcturian frequency carrier. Maybe you're a Syrian frequency carrier. Maybe you're a different frequency carrier. But right now, especially after we release this, within about a year, I'd say most of them are probably going to be Syrian or Arcturian. But you might be a different frequency carrier, but just think about it like, okay, so Boone, North Carolina is a college town, right? And there's a lot of people who go to college at Appalachian State University who didn't grow up in Boone. But there are also a lot of people who grew up in Boone who go to App State.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing. Like, maybe you're an Arcturian and you also went to Arcturian multidimensional med school and then went to Syrian multidimensional med school where your cousins live, right? So your cousins live in Sirius. And you grew up, but they're next door to each other. So your cousins grew up 5 minutes down the road, but technically it's in Sirius. You grew up in Arcturus. Mm-hmm. And then you went to college in both places. Mm-hmm. Because they had an exchange program. And it was like, you know, there's 2 campuses. Mm-hmm. And you went to college on both campus.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're originally from Rigel, but then you went to multidimensional med school in Arcturus and Sirius, and so you're also our cosmic homie. Maybe not necessarily our cosmic cousin, but maybe you are somebody's cosmic cousin who is from Sirius or Arcturus. You see how this works now?
Yeah.
It works like take the concept of Earth that you know and all that programming and then just elevate it and start to think about it like that. And that's how you really tap into cosmic reality. It's not this vast difference. As above, so below people. Like, it's what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
So when you start to come into these concepts and stuff, start to elevate them from what you can perceive on the earth plane to the above elevated reality. Oh, yeah. So that's how it makes sense. So that's why I like coffee and matcha. Mm-hmm. I think on like a cosmic scale, it makes sense, right? We would like go, I don't know. It's just like, it's like we would do the Syrian energy in the morning. Mm-hmm. Again, thinking about how Syrian solar, lots of solar energy with the Syrians. That's where a lot of your Egyptian energy comes in on Earth. Lots of solar gods and goddesses, big solar energy. So thinking about maybe the Syrian energy more active during the daytime. So that's why we drink coffee, right? Syrians are all about their coffee houses. You'll read that in the Syrian transmissions in the quad when you join at the link below. And then Arcturian, I talk about their tea houses. Well, most people have tea in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You might have a matcha in the afternoon, but you might have an iced latte in the morning.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have both. I like to have both.
I like
to have my cup, but I usually will drink my coffee before my matcha. I just might get a coffee and a matcha when we go to the coffee shop so that I have both. But if you notice, almost every single time I don't drink the matcha first.
Right.
And if I drink the matcha first, it's a rough integration frequency day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm usually mainlining the matcha because I need to regulate my nervous system before I can go.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
So.
like for me, it's tea, like in the afternoon or even sometimes in the morning. Like
But you love tea in the morning.
I love tea.
You love tea and you love tea in the morning. Now, isn't that interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you would think about it. You also predominantly carry a lot of solar energy.
Mm-hmm.
I predominantly carry a lot of lunar energy.
Mm-hmm.
I love my coffee the way that you like to drink the amount of tea that I like to drink of coffee.
Mm-hmm. My body can only handle so much sugar, and I'm like, but I love it.
But I also drink
great.
coffee black unless I'm, out getting a latte, which I do want to go do. So we're about to do that.
Sweet.
Yay, lattes. We
Latte.
found this amazing coffee shop called Mountain Grounds Coffee in Banner. It's technically in Banner Elk, but it's like right next to Grandfather Mountain. If you're ever
In the area
of Ski Central, North Carolina, you got to stop there. They're amazing. They have a list of, I've never seen so many flavors. They have rose vanilla lavender coffee is my new go-to.
Yeah.
Rose vanilla lavender iced oat milk latte. I tried it yesterday and it was everything I've ever wanted in an iced latte just combined into one. And I was like, yes, this is the vibe, right?
Yeah.
So botanical, so nice, so comforting. I also tried I did a lavender vanilla matcha and that was great too.
Oh, it was good.
It was a great situation. So, with that, welcome to the brand new Monetize Your Magic podcast. Now, we have a lot of episodes. We have behind the scenes episodes for Monetize Your Magic. We have so much content already recorded for Monetize Your Magic that we are going to start dropping these episodes. Right now we're going to do Mondays and Fridays, but who knows? Maybe we'll drop some extras. I think that's what's going to happen, honestly. But we've got a lot of different things that we're doing. And maybe that's why because I was like, I feel like we're going to drop an episode a day. But then I started thinking, well, what if it's like an episode of Monetize Your Magic on Monday, and then you get, Luxury Witch Lifestyle on Tuesday and Thursday, and then you get Cosmic Vibe Radio, whenever. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We got to make our podcasting plans so that we can communicate with you guys. But I'm so happy that you're here, and thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And we have tons. This is going to be, of course, I work the cosmic into everything that I do. And there is not a ton of separation in what I do, but I do like to create content with more focus. So talking predominantly about monetizing your magic here in this podcast. But then, of course, we bring in the cosmic and the magical as well. And then we will also have our Luxury Witch Lifestyle episode or pot. I'm tired of talking. I got to go figure out the plans. So I can't tell you the plans yet because I got to go figure out the plans. But the plans are coming and I'll update you on the plans as soon as I have the plans. I just got to go download the plans and then read the plans. And then it's like a whole process. So
best way to find out ahead of time before we record anything is by joining the quad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I had taken just a tiny little break to figure out what was going on with the quad, but I post the most in the quad. I post things first in the quad. I post, I'm going to be putting all
of the content's really in the quad, the main content.
Yeah, all of the main content is already available in the quad.
Or on Witchery U somewhere.
Yeah. Or on Witchery U somewhere. So you can also go ahead and join Monetize Your Magic at the link below. And if you're listening to this prior to 420, it's $111 a month. If you're listening to this after, it's $333 a month because I decided that I wanted to raise the price because when I started looking at it, I was just like, wow. Did not know what I was about to create. We're also going to have Unlock Your Magic available as an a la carte program, so you can get that. But it's $333 for the program, or you can get access to all of Monetize Your Magic for $333 for an entire month. So just do Monetize Your Magic. I'm just going to be honest. If you're listening to this before 420, definitely get in because the price is going up.
Yeah.
But there's already I think over 50 or 60 hours of content in
There's a
Monetize Your
minimum
Magic.
50.
There is so much stuff to listen to, and Unlock Your Magic is actually complete. So the entire Unlock Your Magic program, we do have the Next Steps module that, like I said, is going to be dropping in the next couple of days. But then we're moving into Business in 7D. So I'm going to be taking you deeper on a whole variety of subjects about 7D, because most people stop at 5D, and that's not how it works. There are 7 chakras. There's 7 colors in the rainbow. There's 7. Seven is all. 5 is incomplete. 7 is the full frequency range of Earth. Right? So I'm going to be explaining timelines, how we shift timelines, multidimensional frequency, how we learn what our multidimensional frequency is. Funnily enough, Michael had asked me, basically, do you have something? I told him, I was like, you're just not fully connecting with your frequency. And he was like, well, do you have something I can listen to do that? And I was like, funnily enough, I had said Unlock Your Magic, of course, because you have to do it in order. Mm-hmm. There is an order to this, and there's a method to the madness, and it does make sense when you go in order. It doesn't work if you go out of order. And she's very ticky about it. She won't even let me go out of order. And I wrote the program, and the program won't let me go out of order. So, I mean, it's just this is next level technology when your programs talk to you because they're conscious.
It's a creation.
It's a creation, right? We're going to talk about the 7D business model, the 7D entrepreneur. We're going to get into touch with your 7D business grid. We're going to download your 7D business grids, your 7D entrepreneurial grids. And then I'm going to teach you how to start your own grid connection. We'll also have a little bit of other fun stuff in there. I never really know I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I'm not sure about that one. So I have 10 modules planned for Business in 7D.
Alone, yeah.
And I usually add in things like tapping sessions when we encounter resistance, or multidimensional meditations will come through, or I never really know what's going to happen. I just get an outline, and then I go into the creative process, and then it all comes out. You'll get instant access to everything when you join Monetize Your Magic. The content usually drops, funnily enough. I mean, I am an Arcturian. So the content usually drops at night. And you're never going to know when new content's coming. It's just going to come literally the second that we get content recorded, we upload it. Mm-hmm. And then when it's uploaded, we make it available. So it might be at 9 in the morning. It might be at 10 at night. It just happens whenever it's supposed to. And it's always in exactly the timing that it is supposed to come through. So it's by being in Monetize Your Magic, you just get access to everything as it comes out. And if you're not, then you have to wait for us to get our shit together and project it out to the world and do the thing. And it's it's everything in how we do business is shifting. And that's really what we are experiencing right now with all of this that we're creating. And that's one of the reasons why I've recorded so much behind the scenes content and stuff, because I really want to show people the entire landscape of business online is changing. Mm-hmm. And this is the cutting edge look at it. This is what's actually happening as the grid opens up. And it's the grid was a tight lotus, and now the lotus is beginning to come out, and we can only see a few of the petals right now. But as every petal of this grid opens, it's I'm downloading the information and I'm putting it out. Mm-hmm. And so it's we have to be able to elevate in a way that attracts people in with that, and gets our people into connection with us, but then also doesn't require all of the stuff that the old mainstream business did. I can't do a launch period for every fucking thing I have to say and create.
That sounds exhausting.
That's so exhausting. I would have to limit myself so much. I can't do that. We're not doing that.
No
Ew.
limits. No.
Ew. No limits. No. When I find a limit, I'm ew. No more of that. So, on that note, there is the first episode. I do tend to record long, but you get a lot of information. And guess what? You can always hit pause and go back and listen as much as you want. And I recommend that you do, because you'll likely hear new things. So there's the catch up. There is the debrief. There is what is going on in multidimensional reality. I'm so happy you're here. please definitely join the quad or Monetize Your Magic or whatever you feel called to below, or simply hit subscribe and maybe even give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode, just so that we know you're here and we can be sending you, cosmic vibes across the multiverse and like say hey on the astral plane. Hello.
Yeah.
And on that note,
comment your favorite parts.
Comment your favorite part
Your
of the episode.
realizations,
Your realizations.
Mind-blown moments.
Yeah, exactly. All the things. Just say hey. Drop me your favorite emojis. I don't care. I just want to know that you're here. And on that note, we're going to go get some coffee and matcha. Love you. Bye.